Okay, let's talk about the three parts that can be in your note or annotation. Depending upon your teacher, you may or may not have to have all of these three parts. Okay, here they are. The first one is the summary. In a summary, you simply put into your own words what the source says, especially its conclusions. Remember, don't copy and paste at this point. Read the source, put it away, then write as much as possible from memory in your own words. Why? If you forget what you copied and pasted, and it ends up in your paper without quote marks, you might find yourself in trouble with a capital P, plagiarism. Okay, potential part 2, evaluation. In other words, look at where the source was published and by whom. Was it peer-reviewed? Is it someone's personal website? Is it a biased front site for some hate group? Your goal is to determine how credible and reliable the source is. Should you believe it or not? Is it well done research or poorly done research? Now I say potential part 2 because although an assessment of a source's validity is always something you should do, it doesn't have to be elaborated on unless the assignment requires it or you're doing it for your own purposes. Part 3, use. This is perhaps the most important part. Here you talk to yourself about how the information in the source can be of use to you. Here you would pull out facts, statistics, examples, even quotes, being sure to mark them as quotes. Okay, let's look at an example of a source found when a student was researching the causes of juvenile delinquency. First you see the citation, which has to be in the format specified by your teacher, APA-MLA, Chicago, Council of Science Editors, and so forth. What we notice especially from this citation is that the source is an academic journal. We know that not just because it has the word journal in its title. Ladies' Home Journal is not an academic publication. We know it because this source has a DOI, Digital Object Identifier, which usually only peer-reviewed academic journals have. So the student knew this source was likely very credible. Next, you see a short summary of the source. Note that the student is careful to record the actual statistics so they can be later used in the paper, and the student knows they came specifically from this source. The last paragraph is the student's reflection on the article. This is where the student thinks about what the source adds to the paper and how that information might fit into the paper. Notice that the student writes, "This could be a root cause of JD," meaning juvenile delinquency. You see, the student identifies this as a major discovery in his research by bold-facing it. So let's wrap this lesson up by saying, your note can contain potentially three things. The first thing, which it will almost always contain, is the summary. That's simply where you put down in your own words the essence of what the source said and what it concluded. A potential second part is an assessment or evaluation of the source. Usually you're going to do this in your own head, of course, but there are times where someone or an assignment may require you to write it out. And third is perhaps the most important part, and that is its use. What are you going to do with this source? What possible use could you make of it in your paper? And this is where you make sure that you have the facts, statistics, quotations, examples, and other things that you can get from the source that could be of direct use in your paper. Okay, in the next part of this video, we're going to talk about how citation machines can help you get this citation here in its correct format, no matter the style guide required by your teacher. Okay, see you in the next video.